Good evening. It is just past 9 o'clock on a Thursday evening, and you have joined us on our road trip on the road south. Welcome to Southbound. Joining me tonight is the very familiar face, if I can get it out. Ed, how's it going?
Yes, I'm having a few internet issues, which I think have just started again.
Yeah, you're just coming through. We'll see if we can soldier through it. Let's currently say, for those watching, that Ed's internet is performing Mitchell. So we'll try, but thanks for joining us on this Thursday night. I can hear you. You're just coming through very delayed. Well, we might be going. Yeah, so while Ed tries sorting out his internet issues, we're going to deep dive into the results from week 4. Obviously, the main result we're going to look at is the Colts losing to the Rams, well, somehow beating themselves. They lost in LA 20-27. Oh, man, that was a tough one. It was a tough one to rewatch as well. So I'll just get my notes up here. I'll quickly... 27-20. The Colts lost. Daniel Jones went 33 for 24, 262, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Matthew Stafford went 29 for 41, 375 yards and 3 TDs, no interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, 17 for 76. Kyron Williams, 13 for 77, so pretty quiet there on both. And receiving yards. So believe it or not, Colts fans, believe it or not, it's up to you. Our top receiver of the day was A.D. Mitchell. Wow, you wouldn't think that. But yes, he was our top receiver of the day. 3 for 96, no TDs. Tyler Warren, 570. Obviously had the TD as a fullback. Mike Pittman got his touchdown and went 5 for 40. A few others here and there, but they were the main ones. On defense, Latu, I thought had a very good game, a very strong game. Hilton, I thought, come in and did a good job, and we will talk about Xavier Howard, hopefully with Ed, when he hopefully he could try to get us sort out his internet. But yeah, Xavier Howard announcing that he just doesn't feel he can do it anymore, which is a shame because he was having a tough time of it, yes. The Denver game, he got called a lot. He was unlucky in this game, I'd say. I don't think he played particularly bad against the Rams. I think it was a bit more of a bad scheme compared to bad playing. Like me personally, if I'm Lou Anarumo, I am just not putting... I'm not putting Howard on Puka Nacua. I'm putting Bynum and Ward on Puka Nacua's side, and I'm putting Hilton and Howard on Devontae Adams. That would have been my approach to the game, but obviously I'm not the defensive coordinator, so he obviously knows more than me, so he might have seen some. And I also think it is important to remember that we bought Howard Hinn to be an emergency guy, a backup, sort of a one snap, a third down guy, and he got shifted straight to the starting position. And I think if we didn't have him there and we had him as a third down guy and we wasn't crippled with injuries in the secondary, I think we'd be seeing a lot different performance from Howard, and maybe this wouldn't be happening. hopefully Ed can jump in now because I feel like I'm waffling. So let's hope his internet is back up to speed. Let's try that.
That. Yeah, no, I'm joking. It seems to be working all right now, mate. So I've missed literally everything you were saying because I've just been throwing my router around. So apologies if I repeat anything, but I'm assuming we were talking about the game on Sunday just gone.
Yeah, so I sort of picked up on the news of Xavier Howard announcing in his retirement, and I think he's a bit unlucky in the way this has come about because it's hard, right? We've all been there. We've all played that one last game. But no matter what level it is, we've all played that one last game, and we've all gone, "Oh God, I just haven't got that step anymore." Not that I ever had the step, but I'm half a step behind. And I was just sort of alluding to Ed. I think we've got to try and remember what we bought Xavier Howard in for, and it wasn't to be our cornerback too. It was to be the third down guy. We need a bit of experience. We need a smart guy there. We need a third down guy. And then all of a sudden, through injuries, he got thrust into, being the guy. And I think that's unfortunate when Cam Bynum's on the other side and Stravius Ward is on the other side. And you're just like, because as Colts fans, we're looking at going, just do what they do, forgetting that they are elite.
Yeah, I think it's also tough when you have been elite because let's not forget he has been a very good NFL player, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I think he's obviously realised within himself, and fair play to him by the way for having the courage to say, do you know what, I can't, because that is tough. People talk about your legs going. You said it yourself just then. We've all played sport to different levels, and when you just can't do it anymore. Funnily enough, it happened to me around Christmas time. I played in a football tournament, not that type of football, kicking type of football. And my head knew exactly what I wanted to do, but my legs just were having absolutely none of it. And I just couldn't. And I just said to myself, I can't do this anymore. I ended up in a pretty bad tackle with somebody, and I thought I've got to get up for work on Monday. I can't do this anymore. So I get it. Obviously, I was never an elite professional sports person. It must be even harder to accept it at that level. I've got no ill feeling towards him. He came in, he helped us out. He did his best, and he's accepted that his body, he's probably in his own. My mind can still, my mind still knows what I want it to do, but my legs probably can't get there. And I think he made a comment about he enjoyed his year out, spending time with his kids, taking them to school and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, you've earned the right to do that. Like I say, you came in, you helped us out. You got probably, it was a culmination of having a year out and coming up against possibly the best receiver in the league right now.
Did
it go again?
No. It was just it is going a bit in and out, but I'll just try and crack on. I
just think that it was tough.
And I do think if his family's in Miami and everyone's in Miami, and he's staying in a 1-bedroom apartment in Indianapolis, and not seeing his kid, that's hard. That takes a lot more of a toll than a bad tackle or a misstep and you twisted your ankle. So like we say, I think it's unfortunate that he got thrust to cornerback too. I do also think it was a bit unfair of Luana. Like, we can talk about this a bit now. We can deep dive. Like we said, Thursday's a bit more of a deep dive than Monday. But I thought it was a bit unfair of Luana Rumoy to put him up against Puka Nacua. Because I think and I think I might have alluded to this last week, but I knew after the Titans game, if we leave, say, Xavier Howard on an island, Sean McVay is going to rip him a new one. And I could see that as a spectator, right? Because Sean McVay's not a new, and Matthew Stafford isn't a rookie. They're the
No,
complete
far from it. Yeah.
the complete opposite. Was Stafford the class after Luck or before?
Oh, good question. Was it 2012?
Luck was
Stafford?
2012.
Luck, yeah, but Stafford was number 1 overall pick as well, wasn't he? So it must have bbeen.
I've got a feeling it was 13
Was
or
he before
11.
then?
Might have been.
I
Might
think it
have
was
been.
before because I think
Yeah.
no, I think it'd be before because he's older than Andrew Luck, isn't he? Andrew Luck's
Yeah.
only like 30. What is he? Retired 29, 35. Matty Stafford's 37. So yeah, he's older than Andrew Luck. So yeah, it must have been before. Cool, blooming heck. Checking my memory there.
Yeah. But I think I could see that happening, and it did happen. So I was a bit like, but yeah, I get it. Anyway, do you know who our top receiver was in the game?
I tell you, go on. Go on, I'll let you say it though. I know I looked at it, I was surprised as well. Go on.
AD Mitchell was our top receiver.
Yeah,
He was one fumble away from being over 100 yards, but
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? He nearly could have doubled his entire game yardage with that one touchdown if he hadn't dropped the ball.
And the hold. But anyway, I'm not to pile on. I really don't want to pile on. I think we do stress a lot on here that we want to stay away from that type of media, that type of content of just you're either the best or you're shit, and all the stuff. Yeah, and I do think Shane Steichen has got an interesting choice now with AD Mitchell, because I was thinking about this a lot today rather than working. But I think Gold is having a particularly good season in special teams as a returner. And I do think you've also got Ashton Doolin there, who has done his time, has done the reps, is working hard, he's staying around, and he's also having a good couple of snaps here and there. Now, they're not our deep threat guys, but if Alec comes back and Downs is in, do you see a spot for AD Mitchell? I'm not talking about him getting cut and sent to waivers, but is there a spot there?
I don't know. I think it's interesting because Steichen said he's got to earn it. He's had the conversation, hasn't he? But then I did just see, literally before we came on to do this show, the practice report from this week. And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Pittman's been listed as limited practice with a hamstring injury. So I think that will play as much, because I think Alec Pierce should be back. From what I read, he's in the last stages of the concussion protocol, so all going well, touch wood, he should be back, which would obviously limit AD Mitchell irrespective, really, wouldn't it? Because he would take those snaps away. I think you make a good point with Ashton Doolin. I think he's definitely deserves a go and a look. He had a couple of receptions last Sunday as well, I think.
Yeah, I've
so
got it.
I think he deserves a go. But if Pittman's out or on a snap count or anything like that, then I would expect AD to still be there or thereabouts. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I know that he's a very different type of player to Pittman, but he's still a threat. I mean, look, if we focus on the positive, if he hadn't dropped the damn ball, we're talking about one of the best touchdowns of the year so far, aren't we?
Yeah,
but we are like, yeah. I mean, he done the hard part. He did the hard part brilliantly. I mean, what a play it was! If you look at it again, like the ball was thrown, there was two defenders there. He took it away from two of them, spun, and just, he's gone.
One-handed catch as well.
You what? Sorry.
It was a one-handed catch as well, wasn't
it? Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. We're talking about one of the best plays you're likely to see all season. So I'm kind of looking at it from that perspective, that he's a talent, but Yeah, I think Shane said it. He's got to earn it. By him saying that, I'd like to think that, and also equally, sorry, to your point, if you're Ashton Doolan and Anthony Gould, you're looking at it thinking, well, I've got to be. You got to give me a try now. You got to give me a try.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I've not done anything that stupid. So, yeah, I think a lot of it will depend on Pitt though, because I think there's an argument to be said if Pittman's healthy, could AD Mitchell either see very limited action or even be a healthy scratch on Sunday?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a bit of a headline what I want to put out there, and I think
Okay.
this is. I don't think it's controversial, but
Okay.
if that's the worst Daniel Jones is going to play, then sign me up.
Oh yeah.
Like that, and I think the first interception is 60-40 on the quarterback, and I think the second one was just. The gripe on the second one for me is he panicked and he didn't take what was available.
Yeah, it seemed an unnecessary play.
Yeah, I think he could have just dumped it down Taylor, got another 10, 15 yards, run up, But that will come. That will come with time. That's about learning. And it sounds weird because he's obviously been around so long, Danny, Indiana Jones.
No, I know what you're saying. I think that last play was just a bit of a symptom of the whole game. You know what we said about the team not panicking, but just being a bit rushed and not settling
Yeah.
down. And I think, you know what you say when you're just trying to force something? I think that last play in particular, he's tried to force it when he didn't need to. And yeah, it was game, wasn't it? That was unfortunate, but
And it was sort of like, it was really sort of like, he threw it expecting Alec Pierce to be there.
Yeah.
And when he threw it, he went, fuck, that's not Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. If I'm being honest with you, I think Alec Pierce has definitely proven himself to be one of the best deep threats in the league, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But then equally, just obviously we talk about the Colts, but Patrick Mahomes had Xavier Worthy. Is that Xavier Worthy? He had him back on Sunday just gone, and look at the difference it makes for him having a deep field threat. Do you know what I mean? It makes a difference to a quarterback having that option available. And Alec Pierce, like we say, I think he's one of the best in the league at it. So you take him out of the team, and it does take a lot away from you. So yeah, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah. A couple of other talking points from me then, and then I'll let you get in any you want to, and then we'll maybe have a little bit of a trip around the AFC South and check in on our other teams. This for me was a coaching loss. This was on the coaches for me, this game. I think Stafford and Sean McVay showed that processes are not a one-season fix. I do feel it feels a bit disjointed, right? Because Shane Steichen's been around for a couple of years now, but we've just got Lou Anarumo and Shane Steichen with Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley was just, I don't know, you might as well have stuck a refrigerator there, like as a defensive coordinator, and just so it feels a bit disjointed, but we can still see the teething pains, if that makes sense. Like 10 men on the field is inexcusable, but that happens when you're tired, you don't know, it's new, there's a lot going on, there's a lot to process. You run a complicated scheme, it can happen. I thought Shane can be a very emotional coach and a very involved coach, and I feel sometimes that can have the wrong effect on your players. I don't think he calmed AD Mitchell down. I don't think he got his head back to earth. I don't think he did a good job of keeping Daniel Jones calm. And that's why, for me, this one is more on the coaching than the players.
Yeah, I think you got some valid points. I think the 10 players on defense is obviously inexcusable. That just can't happen. I mean, Lou said it, didn't he? It shouldn't happen in high school football, let alone at the NFL level. It's just inexcusable. I think Matt Stafford and Sean McVay, without sort of repeating what you've said, I think they just done a number on us. I think Matt Stafford no huddle, hurry up football at the end of the game just absolutely killed us. We couldn't get off the field. Our defense were exhausted. They couldn't get set, and he just took us apart. Puka Nacua had one of the best games of wide receiver you're going to see all year. Full stop. You know, to the point that he's retired our cornerback after the game. You know, like literally sent him into retirement. The Rams are a good football team. I said it on Monday, I'll say it again. You can't go to the Rams, make the kind of mistakes we did, and expect to win the game. It's as simple as that. That being said, we were missing, arguably, I would say, 3 really important players: Kenny, Matt Gonsalves in the offensive line, and Alec Pierce. We made some stupid mistakes, and we've lost the game by 1 score. So I think there's positives to take out of that. If you see my point, you know, like there's a lot to sort of take away from it. I think it now falls on how we sort of rebound from the defeat. I thought Latu had a good game, by the way. I thought Latu played well. Good to see him. And again, without repeating myself from Monday, I think it was the penalties that cost us as well. You can't win football games if you just keep getting flags thrown for holding and false starts, and you know, all the other, not all the stuff that we haven't really been doing. You know, do you know what I mean? It's been quite. Maybe we've been lulled into a false sense of security in the first few weeks about, you know, the Colts not doing silly things. So hopefully we've just got it all out of the way in one game. But yeah, my main talking points, I think you've covered most of it. My main talking points were we were beaten by a better side. We've made stupid mistakes. We've only lost by 1 score. Last year, I think that could have potentially been a blowout. So I think that shows you how much further the Colts have improved. And the final thing I will say on it, don't know if you're aware, but Tyler Warren is very good at the game of American football.
He's making a bid for offensive rookie of the year, and let's be real.
Oh, without doubt.
If he doesn't get it, then it'll be rigged. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, there is a potential. I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but there is another player potentially who could make a dash. Raiders, hopefully not, but yeah, Warren's been excellent.
So, God, I'll sort of wrap up this game then, because like we say, it feels so stupid that we lost this game, and McVay and Stafford will come out of that knowing that they shouldn't have won that game, but that is what champions do. That is as simple as that. That is what champions do. They come out of the game
100%,
and they just somehow win it. And I just think if we get 1 pick, if the referee doesn't throw a bullshit flag on Tyler Warren, you know, but you know, referees and Colts fans, bit of a touchy subject, but I'm joking. I think it was a weird referee game, but I'm not going to get into that. Anything else from the game that stood out? I'm trying to think.
No, I think. I mean, I would say other than the stupid 10-man on defense play that cost us the game ultimately, I actually think our defense didn't do that badly. There was a few. They made quite a lot of stops. They were doing their best to get the ball back to the offense. But yeah, like I say, it's just silly errors, mate. Just error football, silly errors, and a team like the Rams just punishes. I think, and we said this on Monday, I think it looked like 2, and this shows how far we've come, 2 potential playoff teams playing each other. That's the kind of vibe I got watching the game. Just one made some fucking stupid mistakes, and the other one didn't, and that was it.
Yeah. And I do think as well, I think the battle of the trenches in this game was awesome.
Oh yeah,
I think it was awesome. I do feel we got a few holding calls against us that we got because the blocks were just that good. And I know that sounds bad to say, but I watched a couple. I watched one, and I think it was on Quentin Nelson. I was like, but he's not held him. He's just blocked him to the ground. Like, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Like I say, nothing on the referee. Nothing on the referees really. I just thought there was a few weird calls in mixed lines, but they're not the centre of the game. The players are.
Well, there should be. There should be. Before we move on, I just want to say, just want to. This is totally off topic. Topic. I forgot how to speak. Topic. So I don't know if you've seen on X, the Huddle UK are running a poll at the moment. So it's a complete and utter random joke about if all the AFC coaches were in a Royal Rumble, who would win? So the reason I'm bringing it up now is because I've just had a message from Phil, who runs the Huddle, saying that it's very close at the moment because Shane Steichen has been drawn against Kevin Stefanski in the first round in who would win in a Royal Rumble. And currently, Kevin Stefanski is leading the race by 58% to 42%. So if there's any Colts fans out there, if you want to back Shane Steichen in a Royal Rumble against Kevin Stefanski, please get on X, find the Huddle UK, which is Join the Huddle UK is the handle, and find that particular poll and make sure you vote for Shane Steichen. I did vote for Shane Steichen earlier. If he gets through that, his next round opponent would be either Mike Tomlin or Jim Harbaugh, and I wouldn't fancy his chances against either of them. So let's get him through round one at least. So yeah, I just wanted to say that quickly before we move on to more serious stuff.
Yeah, I do want to say my pick would be Mike Tomlin to win it, or maybe Andy Reid because you could not get him over the top rope.
Yeah, I'm. So Andy Reid was drawn against Pete Carroll in the first round, which is just not fair, is it? Like that just doesn't seem fair. I had a sneak. If it was me in the AFC, Mike Tomlin, was someone I thought, or Mike Vrabel, just absolute unit. They would be the ones that. But yeah, just a bit of fun. Sorry, before we move on to talking about the football again, it literally just popped up on my phone. That's why I thought I'd mention it. So yeah, if you want to vote, get out there and vote for Steichen.
No, that's all right. Just a quick shout. Thanks to everyone for watching tonight and sticking with us through all sorts of technical problems, internet problems, receiver problems. But we appreciate it. We are Southbound. We did not, funny enough, we don't just talk about the Colts, although we like to. We talk about the whole of the NFL, especially on Mondays, which is our weekly roundup show. So join us on Mondays after the weekend to catch up on your favourite team. Ed, on to the AFC South. We have a race going on.
I know.
And I don't think anyone would have predicted it other than the Colts and the Jaguars in a flat-out head-to-head race for the AFC South. And I think, was it Lindsay on Monday said, I'm not looking forward to the away game now. I think that speaks true. But I wonder if they're going to pit, I know that he's NFC, but if they're going to pit Robert Saleh versus Liam Cohen in this Royal Rumble.
I think that's where the idea came from. I think that's where it came from. Because it was brilliant. I've spent far too much of my day thinking about it. Who would win? But yeah, mate, the Jags, I said it on Monday, they've just snuck up out of nowhere and they quite conceivably could be 4-0, which is very demoralising. But they've got a very tough game against the Chiefs. They're on Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Home to the Chiefs, who look like they've found their mojo a little bit. So I think that's hopefully. I mean, two weeks ago, I'd have probably favoured the Jags on this, but I think the Chiefs should have enough to go down there and win. I'm saying that more with hope than conviction, because I do think the Jags have been good on both sides, both offense and defense. So yeah, I'm hoping we can do the business against the Raiders, and then the Chiefs can do us a favour Monday night. But yeah, it's a bit frustrating that we're both sort of sitting 3-1 when we've been so good. But that's football, isn't it? I suppose.
And I do think, and like I keep saying, the Chiefs. in my eyes, the Chiefs were all, after going 0-2, the Chiefs were always going to go 4-0 when I looked at their game.
Hope so.
And is it fair to say this is a bit of new manager bounce for the Jaguars?
Yeah, potentially. I think. I mean, Liam Cohen is very highly regarded in Tampa, wasn't he? There was a lot of chat about how much would Baker miss him in Tampa. So yeah, he's very highly regarded. After I saw, this is going to sound so silly, but after I saw his do you remember his press conference in the pre-season with
Yes.
yeah, like I just looked at it and thought, oh, okay, like how are you going to stand up in front of like 60 big dudes and try and get them to like, do you know what I mean? Like if that's your way of motivating, I thought, oh, we won't have much to worry about here. But he's clearly a good football in mind. Like I say, very highly regarded in Tampa. The issue the Jags have had in the last few years is somebody trying to unlock Trevor Lawrence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He came in with all the potential. They thought it was going to be Doug, the quarterback whisperer. He did get a tune out of him, to be fair. They made the playoffs year before last, I think they did. They beat when they come back against the Chargers, I think it was that year. Or it might have been the year before. But either way, Trevor's never really consistently put it together, has he? And I think that's what they're really hoping for with Liam Cohen. Their run game looks really good from the bits that I've seen. Their defense has been pretty good. Couple of takeaways against the Niners weekend just gone. I actually think it will be a good game, a good Monday Night Football game, because I think that they'll hang about with the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs should, like I say, they should get it done. They should get it done.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And I mean, for me as well, what was Robert Saleh on about? He's got a advanced, completely legal sign stealing. I'll just like, do you know what, Robert? If you shout cover 4, funny enough, the opposite side is going to know that it's cover 4. I was a bit like, what are you on about? Like, that's the bed you're making? That's weird.
Yeah, the whole thing was just ridiculous. And obviously, like I say, Robert Saleh's obviously remembered the Duval press conference and thought, I can have him. So I'm just going to go over there and give it Charlie Big Spuds. Yeah, like I said to you on Monday, it was my kind of villain of the week, because I just thought, grow up, the pair of you. But I do think, like I say, annoyingly, Liam Cohen's done better than I thought. It is still early days, though. They have got quite a tough schedule. Obviously, they've got the Chiefs on Monday. I was looking at it earlier. See, my internet will probably blow up now. I try and look at more than one thing in a go. But yeah, they've got the Chiefs on. Hang on, where's it gone? They've got the Chiefs, then they've got the Seahawks. Then they come to London to play the Rams. Then they're on the road to the Raiders, where they get the bye after the Rams. Then they go to Vegas. Then they've got the Texans, Chargers. So they've got that's a tough stretch of games, including coming to London. And with all due respect, as much as I think the Jags are improved, if the Rams play like they did on Sunday, I don't think the Jags will be able to stop that offense. In my opinion, the only thing that's going to work in their favor is it being played in London and not in America. That's a long way. LA to London's a long way to come for one game, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do think maybe it's a bit of, for the Jags. If you look at if you're a Jags fan and you're trying to look at the bigger picture, you can't obsess with what the Colts are doing.
No,
because you've just got a new manager or a new GM. A new head coach. You're trying to build some foundational pieces here. So you sort of want to look at a season. You're looking at a season. Think you started 3-1, excellent. If you can go 10-7 or 9-8, because I think that record is enough to win the AFC South this year, like always. But if you can have a winning record this year, that's a great season.
Yeah.
And I don't say that disparagingly. And I just think to beat the Rams at the minute, as we found out, you have to be perfect. They don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they were at their very best when they played us. I thought they was very good, but I've definitely seen them play better. Whereas I thought we were playing at a pretty high gear. We just made silly mistakes. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it comes. And moving on then to the AFC South game that was on Sunday, which was the Texans, who are arse, versus the Titans, who are even more arse, according to their star quarterback. Which, if you ask me, is a lot worse and weirder behaviour than tapping out for a play.
Yeah, I think there's a level of frustration which is concerning. He's only been in the league 3 weeks and he's already coming out and saying stuff like that. I think it's also worth, I know what you're saying, because the tapping out thing will follow Richardson around until he does something of any note in the league, really, won't it? I think Cam Ward is still protected by the rookie status. I think he showed enough through the first couple of weeks to be given a bit of grace. People understand that he's in a pretty poor team petition to keep Brian Callahan in that job for as long as possible, because honestly, they're not going to do anything. Some of the play calling is just bizarre, to say the least, isn't it? It's just baffling. I think he's in a poor team. I think the Titans, I don't think this is a hot take, and I don't mean it to be a hot take. Obviously I'm a Colts fan. I'm not saying this to be like controversial or stir up. I'd be surprised the Titans aren't picking minimum top 5. I would say even top 3 in the draft next year. They're not. They just don't look like a competent football team at the moment. I'm sure it will come together at some point. They will potentially get a win. I can't remember the last team to go a whole season without a win. Was it the Browns?
The Browns?
Or the Lions? Be one of those two, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Was it not the Browns because they had the whole fridge thing where they locked up all the beers until they won a game or something?
Yes, I think you're right.
It's similar like
you might be right. Yeah, I think you're right. That'll have to be another Dr. Google. I won't do it because I don't want to blow my internet up. I'll let you do it.
I'll have a look now.
Yeah, I think the Titans, my big concern is we play them again in a couple of weeks, and that is the ultimate trap game, isn't it? Like, you at home to the Titans, they're on 0. That's one of those where you just think, don't you fucking dare, Indianapolis. Don't you dare have a day off that day, because that would be horrendous. But yeah, obviously I'm not worried about the Titans, far from it. I couldn't really care less, to be honest with you, but they look like a very poor team at the moment. They look like a team and again, if we just have a little mooch through their schedule, they've got the Cards. We've got the Cards this weekend, who are a good, if not great, football team. Good team. Kyler can play. They're obviously missing their main back, who got a nasty leg injury, but they're a good team, good defense. Then they've got the Raiders, the Patriots, and then they play us again. So they haven't got the toughest of. Do you know what I mean? That's quite a gentle. It's quite a gentle schedule, but it's when you look at those games and you're going, as a Titans fan, you're going, all Cards, that'll be difficult. Raiders, the Raiders, which obviously we'll talk about, they've got some good players. That'll be a tough game. The Patriots, Drake May, Trayvon Henderson, they've got some. You're starting to look at these games on a slightly easier schedule and thinking they're going to be tough. That kind of tells you where you are as a football team. Do you see? Do you kind of see what I'm saying? So as a Titans fan, I'd be, like I say, far from concerned, because I'm not a Titans fan, but I think this is one of those years where you're kind of going to have to hope that Cam Ward doesn't get beaten up too much, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And kind of try and rebuild through the draft. It's going to be a long process, I think. And I don't know if Brian Callahan sees out the year, in my opinion.
I seriously, I don't know how Brian Callahan survived the Colts game. I really don't. And then, like I said, just because what the annoyance for me is, he's not called Cam Ward, is he?
Who?
The Titans quarterback.
It is Cam Ward.
It is Cam Ward. Yeah, God, I'm getting. God, I'm tired. It's nearly the weekend.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's because I keep getting him confused with the two-way player.
Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, yeah. I keep confusing their names.
Yeah.
But no, Cam Ward. The problem for me is you're coming out saying we're arse after you've put up 0 points.
Yeah.
You know, for me, you've got to come out and say that's on me. I need to do better, but as a team, we can do better. Come out and say we're arse. That to me is saying the royal we. That's for how I. I mean, he might not have meant it this way, but from how I understood it, that was him saying we, pushing his hands away to the franchise. We're arse, not me. And I'm going to point the claymore at my horrendous offensive line. But for the Titan, they're obviously I mean, they might not say it actively, but if you're planning to go and tank, because at this point you have to, like, let's be real, you want to be. This is for them already, unless they pull off some Frank Reich 2018 season, which I can't see happening. Your season's done, so there's no point you go in 7-10 and being picking like 11, 12 in the draft. So I would probably bench not bench him, but I'd say you're going to sit because you're the multi-million-dollar deal here. So you chill out. We're going to go and get Carson Wentz, or we're going to go and get
a job to do in Minnesota.
Yeah. No, we're going to go and get Joe Flacco, and we're going to put him in instead. But no, I'm surprised Callahan's still there. To me, there's big structural problems at Tennessee that go beyond the field. A bit like, to compare it to soccer, they feel a bit Man United.
Oh, yeah. Without the history.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Without that to rely on, but they do feel like I could, Titans fans must be stood there just like looking at the feet, because that would be more interesting for them.
Yeah. I don't think there's much more to add. I just I don't want to say long may it continue, because that sounds really horrible, but
continue.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. What's Ryan Tannehill up to nowadays? Go get him back for a year.
Yeah. Should we quickly touch on the Texans then before we look forward?
Yeah, we might as well.
So the Texans obviously spanked the Titans. Was it like 32-0 or something?
26, but it was only like 6-0 going into like the last quarter. I don't know if Tennessee just gave up at that point.
Yeah. But it's hard for them because I don't know how many times we have to say this, Ed. We sound like broken records, but Andrew Luck, Joey Burrow, CJ Stroud. I feel like I'm going to end up saying Cam Ward at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Why are these? One, why is it the AFC South curse? But why are these quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence? Why are teams and franchises just not listening and looking and learning? Is it a money thing? Is it shirt selling? Is it? God.
I've no idea, mate. The Texans look seriously out of sorts at the moment, which again I'm not particularly upset about. But they don't seem to be. They've kind of relied on, since D'Amico Ryan's come in, they've kind of relied on that excellent defense. I mean, he was a defensive player and defensive coordinator, wasn't he? That's kind of what he's built his career on, which is fair play. And I still think their defense is really, really good. But offensively, yeah, I agree, man. What are you doing? You've got CJ Stroud, who is your guy, who is a very good quarterback.
Very good,
he makes mistakes like they all do, but he's come in the league and he's basically hit the ground running from day one. Why would you not be going out of your way to protect it? Do you know what I mean? It's like buying a brand new TV and just throwing it in the corner instead of like putting it on the wall and sort of surrounding it with nice things and making sure it's secure. It's like, why would you not do that? I mean, they've got a tough game this weekend And again, just having a quick look at their schedule. Now, they've got the Ravens on the road this weekend, which I think they're lucky that Lamar Jackson's injured, because I wouldn't give them a hope in that game if Lamar was fully healthy, but he's not. So they've got a chance there. Then they play the Seahawks, then the Niners, then the Broncos, then the Jags. They've got a rough stretch of games, and they're already 1-3. They're 2 behind us, mate. And I don't know what's going on with their offensive line.
Are they 3 behind the Jags? Because
no,
have they played?
They have. They've lost to the Jags. Yeah, so they'll have to.
Yeah, so they're 3 behind them, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll have to beat the Jags to kind of and win back the game. So they've put themselves in a bit of a hole. I don't think many people outside of the AFC South saw that. Like, pretty much everybody predicted the Texans to win the division.
Yeah.
I think we've been quite consistent on this show and said the Texans aren't that good. They've just been better than a pretty crap division for the last few years. Well, no, that's true. I mean, we've been dog mark. Yeah, like, we've been horrendous. The Jags have been like completely up and down like a road. Like, they're a complete yo-yo team.
Yeah.
And the Titans, ever since sort of Vrabel's last season, have been kind of tanking and rebuild. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. So the Texans, all they've had to do is just be consistent, and they have. So I think that really us and the Jags have massively caught them up, and maybe they're just being found out. I mean, look, it's very early in the season. I could end up with massive egg on my face as they end up going to the championship. But I heard one prediction. I can't remember who it was now. I was listening to a podcast before the season started. It was an American one as well. Tipping the Texans to go to the Super Bowl.
What?
And I was just like, you just like, you want to scream at your phone, like, really? Like, they're not that good. Like, I understand people tipping them to win the AFC South. I get that, but the Super Bowl, really, in the AFC? Like, no, not having that. And that's been proven right.
Yeah, and I do think with the Texans, and I think it's fair to say as well, on this show we've had quite a consistent view of them, is you can't just trade away one of the best, if not one of the best offensive linemen in the game, pick up 15 running backs and go, yeah, this is a solid game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I say, CJ Stroud must be fuming.
Oh, without doubt.
I'd be marching into the office saying, "What on earth are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I think the big sum up for me with the Texans is, when you look back on it, like you say, we've been pretty dog the past couple of years.
Yep.
But realistically, we've only been 2-3 plays away from going to the playoffs, like 2-3 snaps from going to the playoffs. And they've not really, this was their time, wasn't it? I think everyone's sort of pinging them to, this is their time now, because they went to the playoffs. Everyone's like, they're going to put a stake in the ground. They're going to take over the AFC South. They're going to become the big brother. The Colts are in fluctuation. The Jags are the Jags, and the Titans are the Titans. But they never really sort of kicked on from, it wasn't CJ Stroud as their quarterback, but it was before the Davis Mills season, I want to say. They sort of, God, I can't remember. But
Deshaun, was it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, of course it would have been Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Deshaun Massage Parlor Watson.
To use his full name.
Yeah. A trick he learned from Robert Kraft, but they didn't really have a contingency plan in place for that. They just sort of went, "Yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see what happens." So a bit of a baffling case of mid-tableitis. Is that the right word? I know that's a very Englishism thing.
No, I know you say mediocrity. They're kind of like, we'll just accept our lot and see what happens. No, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, which we all thought the Colts were doing this year, but apparently not.
No, I just asked AI, because I wouldn't know this. How many times has CJ Stroud been sacked in his NFL career? Just building on that.
Yeah,
100 times.
That's 3 years? Because it was the same year as Richardson.
Yes, same year as Richardson. So that's 2 full years and 3 games. So 38 in his first year, 52 last year, and he's already been sacked 10 times this year.
No, that's like I say, and what's even more annoying, I mean, they might have tried, and Chris Ballard might have hung up the phone, but we just got rid of Ryan Kelly and Will Fries to Minnesota. Did the Texans not think, I know who has a good offensive line? The Indianapolis Colts. Oh, they got 2 guys going.
Yep.
Let me get on the phone here. But
yep. That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I said, I think what it comes down to, Ed, is we want to see the best players in the game for as long as possible.
Of course. It's like the whole Joe Burrow thing, isn't it? You know, you don't want to see players like him go down. Yeah, I'd throw just on your point there about not learning from the Andrew Luck, and you reeled off a lot of quarterbacks there, and I think you're right on all of them. I'd also chuck in Caleb Williams in that bracket as well, because he seems to be getting beaten up week after week. In with the Bears. Yeah, I think we all obviously have an element of PTSD with that kind of thing, but people always say that the NFL is a copycat league.
Yeah.
So has nobody looked at that scenario and just thought, oh, well, that clearly didn't work, did it? Maybe if we have this prodigal sort of prodigious quarterback, we should probably invest in protecting them. But I don't know, mate. I don't know. Yeah. I don't get it.
Anyway, and like I say, thank you for joining us tonight. Subscribe, like, if you're listening to this as a podcast, please leave us a review on Amazon or Spotify, because it does help grow our community. Also, if you are on YouTube watching this, or you're watching it later, just subscribe and put on the little notification bell, because the algorithm's not your friend, folks. But anyway, Ed, do you want a silver lining to losing to the Rams?
Yes.
No more 9 o'clock games. The Colts are back in the usual 6 o'clock slot, which means no more blackouts, no more crap coverage, no more ins and outs, and you can't watch it because you haven't paid £900 to Gary Neville to keep commentating.
That's good.
Just a little dig at Sky Sports.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm all for that.
But anyway, yes, the Colts at the Raiders, or
no, they're coming to us. Yeah, they're coming to us. I mean, personally, sorry, just before we get into it,
go ahead.
As a fan, a road game in Vegas must be up there as one of the very best sort of away days, to use the English term, that you can have. I'd like to, it kind of puts. I remember. Do you remember a few years back when Blackpool were in the Premier League, and everyone was like, "Oh, I can't wait for Blackpool away because it's a great." It's like, well, I can say Vegas, Vegas road game is probably one of the best away day experiences. If anybody can think of any other ones, please let us know in the comments, because that would be an awesome one.
Yeah. I'm going to get pissed and put it all on Anthony Richardson to win the MVP.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if you'd have to go out on a Friday. It would be over under on actually making the game Sunday afternoon, because I'd just be enjoying myself too much.
But yeah, let's look ahead to the Raiders, who did they have a bounce back win?
No, they lost. They lost on a blocked field goal. I watched it back earlier.
Yes, that was it. Blocked field goals this year, right?
Yeah, loads. Looked like a leverage penalty should have been called, but obviously the refs the refs aren't doing that anymore.
That's funny, because that's the annoyance we have, right? As fans, that is just and if you're a Denver fan, you will be losing your mind.
You would, yeah. I mean, I suppose it's probably made slightly better that it was against the Raiders, but yeah, you'd still be fuming that. 100%.
But but no, the Raiders, they've got all the Spencer Rattler, aren't they? Is that right?
No, they got Gino. So they got Gino. Chuck it away. chuck it away, Gino, who I was listening to the Final Down podcast earlier today, actually. Shout out to them, great guys. Because one of their guys is a Raiders fan, and he said, I must admit, I disagreed with this. I nearly shouted at my car because I will not have Gardner Minshew slander in my ear holes because I'm a Gardner Minshew stan. But he said that it's starting to remind him and worry him a little bit of last year when Gardner Minshew was there. I was like, wait, look, he's obviously not got the right play caller because I'd have had Gardner Minshew. I think we'd have all took Gardner Minshew last year over the disaster of Joe Flacco at quarterback. That's not even up for debate. But yeah, Gino, like I say, I watched the game back today. He chucked a couple away. I thought it was a bit unfortunate. If you get a chance to see them, the interceptions were pretty good. Like it wasn't like he's not like he's thrown them into. It wasn't like Daniel Jones one where he's underthrown it or anything. One of them was like a diving catch, and the other one is kind of took it away from the receiver. So that happens. I think for me, if you can flush Gino out of the pocket, I think he panics and throws it, and that's where the interceptions come from. So hoping that Latu can have a big game. Their O-line doesn't look great, and I think their best inverted commas, their best tackle is out with an ankle sprain. So you'd like to think that Latu will have a good game. I am concerned about this massive, giant force of nature, number 98, Max Crosby.
Yeah,
my word, he is one of the outstanding defensive players in all of football, and he was just a menace to Caleb Williams on Sunday. He just did not give him a moment's peace. So I think, and he kind of lines up wherever he gets the best matchup. So I think our O-line are going to have their hands filled with him on Sunday. But yeah, it will be a good opportunity for us to hopefully bounce back. Brock Bowers is a good player. I don't really think they've got a huge amount else sort of weapon-wise, receiver-wise. Obviously, they've got Ashton Genty. We can talk about him in a minute. But their receivers, without sounding, I don't want this to sound sort of arrogant or ignorant, but there's very few sort of big name players there that I think is fair to say that they're kind of, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. We said Puka Nacua was a 5th round pick, and look at how he destroyed us at the weekend.
And I mean, the Colts love giving up 200 yards to unknown receivers.
And that's exactly what worries me more. I would rather be going up against sort of Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua again than somebody that we've never heard of, because it's a guaranteed breakout game for them, isn't it? It's always the way. So we will see. Like I say, I think if we can panic Gino, hurry him up, get him out of the pocket, make him uncomfortable, I think he will probably make mistakes. I'd expect hopefully at least one pick for Cam Bynum or big superstar Nicky Cross if he's not too busy flattening people on sort of blitzes and all sorts. But yeah, that's kind of what I think.
Yeah, no, just having a look at their players. I don't know why I thought they had Spencer Rattler. I don't know why.
Probably the black uniforms he plays in New Orleans, don't he?
Oh yes, that of course. Anyway, yeah. So the big concern, and Nathan raised this in the group. He's not with us tonight, but he raised this, is Ashton Genty, of course, who was a superstar in college, as we all know. And our run defense doesn't seem to be the greatest inside.
No.
They do have the Poundland Tyler Warren in Brock Bowers, who I didn't want. I was always waiting for Warren.
Yeah, we know.
But like you say, if we want to be taken seriously as Colts, this is a game we need to win.
Yeah.
If Shane Steichen calls another tight end screen on 2nd and long, I'm going to fly to the Lucas Oil Stadium, personally hand him his P45 and say, thanks a lot, move on, because them plays, they're just not it anymore. The game's evolved away from it. You can RPO, you can maybe set up a screen here and there, but man, we just got that one wrong this week. But I'm with you. We need to capitalise now. Like you say, the Jags have a tough schedule coming up. We need to keep our foot to the ground, and I do think we will. I do think we win this one.
I think we should. I think. So I'm just looking at our schedule after this. I do know it, but I always forget it. Yeah, I think we've got the Raiders obviously this Sunday. We've got the Cards at home the week after. So you'd like to think that we should be able to hopefully, like you said, if we want to be taken seriously, these are the games that we should be winning, 100%. I would say in typical. My big concern, and you just said it there, is Ashton Genty. We can't deny that. I mean, he was breaking tackles left, right, and centre last Sunday. Two things that the Colts defense are good at is giving up yards against the run and missing tackles. So that worries me a lot. They've also got Raheem Mostert. I kind of knew he was there, but I'd forgotten he was there until I watched their game back. He's also a threat on the ground. Pete Carroll likes the run game, doesn't he? We know that. I think that
in the Super Bowl on the 1 yard line.
yeah, then it all goes a bit Pete Tong.
Yeah.
But I think that there's going to be a heavy emphasis on running the ball. So yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Interior is going to be huge. I think if we can wrap up Ashton Genty quite quickly, and hopefully Lou's got something exotic planned for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Colts should. I'm never ever going to sit here and go, I think the Colts should win something comfortably, because I just don't. Even if we're winning by 3 scores at the 2-minute warning, I'm still not sure we've won the game until it's actually. Even when we're kneeling down, I'm still not sure it's done. But I think if our offense plays the way that it can play and the way that it played, excluding a part of the game last Sunday, how it's played most of this year, I think this is a game we should be winning. I do. Happy to have egg on my face on Monday, but we'll see.
Yeah, and it brings me. You bring me to my last question then before we round out, because we've been going over an hour now. Where on earth is JTT?
Oh.
Because we could really do with another defensive lineman. We could really do one, because I love Neville Gallimore. Brother, we need some power, and Buck and Grove need some backing up in that position. Like, if I don't get it, and I wish I could hold Shane Steichen to the stove and try and get him to answer this properly without just word salad Steichen coming out. But any idea, Ed? Anything?
No. Although I do think our other defensive lineman, whose name I'm never going to attempt to try and say, Abbott. I thought he played. I thought he had a good game Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I don't know what's going on with JTT. It's now becoming a bit of a like, where's JTT, isn't it? Like, I think it's going to become. I don't want it to take over the season, but people are asking the question: how bad is he? How bad is he practicing? That's I suppose that what's going on. So I don't know, man. Hopefully he'll be suited up soon. Hopefully we'll see him play some meaningful snaps, because you're right, we can't keep relying on Grove and Buck and Latu. Or maybe it's just a ploy and we're going to go all in for Trey Hendrickson. Who knows?
I would just saying I would.
But, I'm with you. I would as well at this point.
Why not? Burn it all down.
Could you imagine that defensive line? Hendrickson, Buckner, Grove, and Latu.
And then Quitty Pay as well.
Yeah, I think we probably have to get rid of Quitty Pay to accommodate it. But
we're not going to. And also, just a quick note, we're not going to extend Quitty Pay. I'd be very surprised if we extend him.
Yeah, which makes it even more sort of like swapping for Trey Hendrickson. Swap him for Trey. For Trey. Yeah.
Anyway, the last thing before we get out of here, because it's been a long show, but thanks to everyone listening, join us. Like I say, leave us a review, tell us why we're wrong, tell us why we're right, and let me know why the Colts are going 16-1. But Ed, your score prediction for Sunday?
I think the Colts will win this game. I think we're going to get back to 30 plus points. I'm going 33-10. I think we're going to.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I feel a big one.
Tyler Warren's going to dunk on Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Harrison, thank you to everyone for joining. That's been Ed. And join us on Monday after the Colts 42, the Raiders 3.